Welcome everybody to the No Budget Podcast. I'm Alex, and today I have a wonderful guest in Steve off. So stay tuned for the end, and I hope you guys enjoy. First thing I wanted to ask you about was American Murder Society.
Yes.
I've literally only seen your partner in that one infamous thing, so I want to know how you guys met. Yeah, I saw him in the thing with Brandon Kirk.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there that night.
You were?
Yeah.
It was JCPW?
Yeah, it was like, they ran a couple shows. They kind of stopped running after that. I was in the main event with Pinky Sanchez, and we had a killer match that like 20 people saw, because they all left after Grim was done. They were all those people, so, you know. Yeah, that was an awkward night.
Yeah. So was it a real shoot, or was it part of the experience?
I mean, as far as I know, and Alex is a friend of mine and my tag partner, so I probably know if it was a work. He probably would have smartened me up. As far as I know, it wasn't.
Because I have seen Brandon Kirk show up on his show at least once.
Yeah, they've all made amends almost immediately after. It was all like kind of a big misunderstanding. You know, those guys were there, like kind of like Mr. T at WrestleMania, but on a smaller scale, you know, to draw in new eyes. Yeah. And these guys probably thought they were there to just take our spots, and that was not the case. So everybody squared up afterward, and it was cool, you know, a week or two later.
I like that they turned it into a storyline with Brandon Kirk, because he started to get known for the deathmatch stuff. Yeah. Right after that. And so him and Grim had that big feud on SWF. So how did you and Alex start to tag?
So we were in a faction called Kill the Magic, and Pro Wrestling Magic, the heel, like NWO-esque faction. It was a little different, but same basic idea. You know, a bunch of heels overlooked jobbers trying to, you know, move up the card and take over. We were not supposed to be a tag, but I'm on the booking committee, and I felt very funny about putting a singles title on myself at that time. Now I prefer not to, but if it fits, it fits, and it's needed, but it's not. But I'm just saying, back then I was not comfortable with that at all. And I was like, well, we don't really need the tag belts either, but if it comes to it, at least I'm comfortable with that, because at the time he wasn't very well known, so I'm kind of elevating someone else at the same time, so it's cool. So we wound up tagging. Mostly the idea popped into my head because a fan posted a GIF online of us taunting him, and we looked pretty hilarious and badass at the same time doing it. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's some mileage here, and there's maybe like 10 or 20 good unsigned teams. So maybe that's a better area to stand out and get noticed. So let's do that. You know, we're both good, but we're not going to get noticed off the bat singles. So, you know, let's put our heads together and see what's up.
You guys have some incredible chemistry, just in your taste of music alone, because that's one of the things I have wrote down in my notes. Yeah. Broken Rail. Mm-hmm. I was watching IWTV. I just got my subscription. I went to Pro Wrestling Magic, and I saw you were on the card. I was decided to watch you guys, and I heard Broken Rail. Yeah. I know these guys. I've partied with these guys. I've known them for years.
Oh shit.
So how did you find their music?
So we were debuting with WWN in Florida, which was awesome, by the way. Great place to work, and can't wait to go back with their ACW branch. And they told us, you know, because they're on Fight TV and they have their own network as well, like we need to find music that is not licensed or something, or that's like free use. Yes. Type of music. And one of the first songs we checked out, a few of them were by that band, Broken Rail. There were a few others, too, that were good. They just didn't fit. And a few Broken Rail songs, too. Some of them were good. I jam out to them at the gym now, but they just didn't fit. But that one, when I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's probably it. Checked out a few more to be sure. Nothing else clicked. Sent that one, the song The Hate, over to Alex. And he was like, yeah, we need to use that. So, yeah. Because
I know, I don't remember the song, but I still have it in my phone from when I made y'all's entrance video. That song worked really well with the video I made, but The Hate just fits you guys so much better.
Yeah, and like we work babyface at Magic, which is weird. Serial killers, yay, we'll cheer them.
Yay, we love murder.
It seems, it's a more upbeat song, but it also works for heel too, because
it's a very
badass heel.
It has such a gritty tone to it that I could see a heel walking out to it, but the lyrics are just such a cheer me kind of thing. because it's telling you to stop hating on people.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching the editor. He was getting clips of the riots that were happening around that time. Mm-hmm. He was getting clips of that. The place they shot, it's like 10 minutes from my house. So I went to that music video shoot, and the whole point of it was to like set off a gritty nature to it. So I mean, when I heard that, I figured, yeah, that was perfect for you.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna keep that one for good. Where are they based out of?
Believe they're based out of Alabama.
Okay.
Blake lived in Birmingham for the longest time. I think all of them, but like one of the guitarists lives in Texas now. Like they're all in Texas except for one.
Oh, okay.
So they're Southerners.
So they're not really a band anymore. Then they're not together anymore.
They are still a band. It's just that they gotta travel a lot to try to get together.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, those guys are great, and I figured they would. I sent him the video, and he's like, "That's awesome."
Oh, I'm glad they liked it. That's cool. Maybe one day to play us to the ring.
Maybe, hopefully.
That'd be awesome.
I think it was the Boardwalk Buds, something like that. The Weed standalone wrestling show where they had all those people just rapping them out to the ring. You guys get them to take you down there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, go down to Texas. I've been meaning to go there forever anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe. Broken Rail and AMS. That'd be awesome.
The hell of a tag team.
Yeah. All right. We did touch a little bit on Pro Wrestling Magic. What is your status with Pro Wrestling Magic?
So we're going to be in September back to running monthly events at full capacity, optional masks for anyone vaccinated, going on the honor system because, we're not going to check at the door.
Yeah.
And, even when we do, if people go past the door and take it off, no one's going to notice. So kind of just going on the honor system with that. But, our first event back will be September 11th. We have a few in the can that are going to be debuting on IWTV. So my role there is I'm a co-founder, co-owner, and I'm part of the creative process. And people think I'm the booker. No, I don't. We don't like having one person in charge of all that. That's too much power and too much pressure for anyone.
Definitely.
Plus, you have one point of view rather than three. Right now, we have me with a ton of experience, no time off except for a few minor injuries. My main business partner, who got a little time in the business, left for 10 years and then came back to do promoting and a couple matches here and there. And my one buddy who has film and TV experience with no wrestling experience, lifelong fan, but no wrestling experience whatsoever, because that's a good blend. You're going to get the best of every aspect, unless you had somebody who knew nothing about wrestling at all, but I don't know that they'd be able to contribute much. But other than that, you have every aspect of, the view of wrestling. You have a fan, who's educated in film. You have a professional wrestler. You have a former wrestler who got some experience and then went to the business world and got experience there. So he's a huge asset, Anthony Iovino, in delving into that aspect, because I know shit about business. I know about wrestling. That's it,
So you have a person who knows how to film, you have a person who knows how to run the business, and someone who knows how to book the business.
Yeah, and we all work together, and we don't hit a home run every time, but I'd say 9 times out of 10.
That's why I like watching Pro Wrestling Magic. It seemed like there was people in charge that knew what they were doing. I mean,
we've gone through some rough patches, but not that people didn't know what they were doing, but it takes time to learn the business, and you're learning on the job. And myself included, I never booked before Magic. I booked like 2 shows, like charity shows I helped book, and that was it. Like, kind of learning on the job. You make a couple speed bumps, a couple mistakes, we still are gonna, so it's, now when like I see WWE shit the bed on the talent or Impact or whoever, I've seen myself do it, so now I kind of get it. Like, you don't do it on purpose. You don't notice till after the fact what you had with certain talent.
Nobody knows the struggle of a promoter besides a promoter.
Yeah. I didn't understand it till I did it. Then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's why all those guys who deserved a big push didn't really get it until they went somewhere else.
Because it is not easy to control. You guys have, 20, 30 people on your roster? Maybe more?
No, we have, a rotating roster of about 70 or so guys. If you include refs and managers. If you don't, maybe about 50.
Well, yeah, we can include them in here because you're still having to book them on there. That's 70 people you are having to book into, one show a month?
Yeah.
So you're going to rotate it?
We're filming 2 every other month, but now we're going back to regular schedule, like I said, so we're right on track for that.
So it's not easy. There's some people who are going to have to lose, and they're going to have to suck it up.
I've said I'm still actively wrestling. I wouldn't say full-time, but as close to full-time as I can go. Yeah. Realistically, because everyone runs on fucking Saturdays. And I've even sat out shows. I don't take a payday from Magic right now because I don't have it in the budget.
Yeah.
I make or break at the door. So, I've even sat out as a $0 payday from events. So everybody's got to sit eventually. There are certain guys who are on the majority of shows, but yeah, other than that, it's kind of a rotating door for the non-title holders.
I guess the people that are at every show are the people that are consistently drawing you money.
Yeah, those and our champions who are also, for the most part, I believe, drawing money or at least keeping money that other people draw in.
Yep.
It's hard to know exactly what the case is. The only barometer we have for that is social media.
Yeah.
So.
And not everybody has the social media. I mean, not every one of your fans are going to follow you on Twitter.
No. So we're going off Twitter, which is it's a huge part of wrestling, but it's such a small part of that dynamic of, fan interaction, because I don't think kids go on Twitter. That's a huge demographic.
Yeah.
I don't think old people go on Twitter. That's a huge demographic. Like, I don't know. We we're spoon-fed. We take with the viewership on IWTV, Twitter, all that. And overall, it seems like people think we're doing a good job. There's always room for improvement, though, so we're always nitpicking on that. It's almost a negative that there's so much positive because we don't know how we can improve. If everyone's just like, oh, this is great, this is great, this is great, it's like, great. Glad you enjoy it, but now how do we decide how we can make it better?
Because if you keep feeding them the same stuff, then they're going to get bored of it.
Yeah, exactly. They like it, but if you don't change it, they're not going to like it. They're going to get bored. If you change it the wrong way, they're going to hate you for it. So we're kind of figuring it out as we go. It's another learning on the job thing.
Yeah, you gotta do the old adage of throw shit at the wall and see what sticks.
That's pretty much what we're going to be doing, yeah.
It works.
A good idea now of what would stick, probably in theory. So at least we've got something to grow off of, but never know for sure.
So you guys have a deal with IWTV, right?
Yes.
Because I only saw one show on the IWTV of Pro Wrestling Magic.
There's two up now.
There's two? All right. I saw the one that was done June 26th. That was the one I watched with you at the beginning.
Yeah, that one was the one with the cinematic, right?
I believe it was the one in the high school gym. That's what it looked like.
They're all at the Knights of Columbus in Ridgefield Park, but there's definitely two up there now.
All right. I forget which one it was. I kind of marked out once I heard the theme song. I'm not gonna lie. But what is one person that you would like to wrestle?
Oh man, there's so many, but Alex Shelley would be cool in the singles, or Chris Sabin, or the Motor City Machine Guns in the tag with Alex and my partner. Ooh. That'd be really cool. Alex Reiman, not Alex Shelley. Myself and Alex Reiman, the American Murder Society against the Motor City Machine Guns, or the Rock and Roll Express. Those are the two dream matches that we haven't. And there's other people we want to wrestle, but those are like the dream matches that are way out there that could happen, that might happen, but are kind of a long shot. If we're being
well, who was the one in the Motor City Machine Guns that just came back from injury? Alex Shelley?
Did he just come back? I haven't.
Yeah, he did just come back on Impact. Because the other one, I cannot remember names for the life of me. The other one was wrestling with James Storm.
He was tagging with James Storm, and he was doing the singles thing with Moose that he's still doing.
Yeah, so they should be back as a team really soon. Rock and Roll Express would be amazing.
Or even Morton and the Sun, like that would be cool too.
Oh,
that's kind of almost like the new version of the Rock and Roll Express, but I mean, I prefer the OGs, but yeah.
Yeah, I did make one of his entrance videos. I just haven't sent it to him yet.
And Tim Zabisco too, because I always pop him with my memes on social media, and we haven't met or wrestled. We were supposed to wrestle in Florida, but I wound up not being able to get off work, and I had to change up the match. So that sucks.
Okay. So how many places have you traveled to wrestle?
So I've been to Maine, West Virginia, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Florida, California. So about 7, 8, 9 states or so, which is not a lot, but I guess for, just another indie guy, it's not the worst. I'm definitely looking to expand on that. Texas is number 1 on my list, and always going back to Florida because I love it there. The weather, the people, I got friends and family down there who might come out, who knows. One of my best friends is moving there today as we speak, so, Yeah, that's definitely, those are my top two. Back to Florida and Texas for the first time.
The person that's moving, it's not Alex, is it?
What?
It's not Alex, is it?
No.
Breakup of AMS?
Not yet. We'd both love to live there, but you know.
Yeah. I think that'd be interesting because there's two big wrestling companies in Florida.
Yeah, and there's quite a few independents too. That's a hotbed. So is like this area: New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware. There's so much, man.
There are so many companies in New Jersey. Yeah. It's crazy, but it's also really nice because it means that you can hit every company.
All rent my ring. Not all of them. Most of them run in the Knights of Columbus every now and then, or all the time, and rent my ring. So they make money, I make money, everybody's happy.
So you make money off of New Jersey wrestling shows?
Anyone that runs in the Knights of Columbus in Richfield Park, usually for the most part rents my ring, because it's up the night before. They walk in, there's already a ring there. They don't have to worry about nothing. It's almost, and by the time you rent a truck and get your ring there, if you own one, that's at least $200. Pay a crew. I make people a deal and I save them money, or at least a headache for the equal amount of money. So it works for everybody.
Through your career, who is the favorite person that you've wrestled?
Nunzio, just because of the training that my original trainers put me through to get ready for him. Because he was just he's hot coming off a WWE run. And that motherfucker was in shape. And he still is, but he was in he's probably about a 9 or a 10 now on the in shape scale. He was about a 15 back then. Because he was just coming off 5 days a week on the road, wrestling every night. So I had to get ready or he was going to blow me out of the water. And I wound up hanging with him, holding my own and earning his respect. And I wound up training under him. Shortly after that, he became the trainer of the school I was at, or one of the trainers. So I spent about a year and a half shadowing him and learning from him. And when he wasn't able to be there, I could run the class as a substitute kind of. I'm not on his level at all, but at least somebody who kind of knew the bumps and what he would do, and he would just give me a list of shit to do with him. So got to know him pretty well. He's a good dude. Me and my dad are really close to him to this day. So it's been a while since we've gone out drinking, so I got to hit him up.
Seeing the shape he's in now, he's almost 50.
Oh, yeah, and he don't look it.
No, I thought he was late 30s, early 40s at the most, and when I was Googling him, and he was 50, and I was shocked.
Yeah. I don't know that he wrestles anymore. I don't think he's officially retired, but I know he's got a couple nagging injuries, and he's still in great shape, though, so if he wanted to throw down again, I'm here for it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
If not, we just throw back some beers. He loves his beer, and so do I. So.
All right, in a tag match, who was your favorite person to wrestle?
Oh, man. Probably the Rapture, based out of Florida. I mean, there have been a lot of good tag teams, like Jersey Muscle Society. We've had the most good matches with, and they're my local favorite. But the Rapture, we just hit our stride with them immediately after just watching one match, then meeting them, and then just calling it a few times and going through it. Probably those two. I don't know if I could pick between them, but Jersey Muscle Society and the Rapture definitely, and Psycho Drivers too. So we didn't do a lot with them. They chased us for 3 or 4 months in Magic and then beat us. And those three teams though, we always brought out the best. Even when we didn't have a 5-star match, it was an awesome show, and the fans, they were into it, which is all that really matters. No one gets hurt. Fans are into it. But yeah,
that's what makes a good match.
Muscle Society and the Rapture. That's 3-way tie. I can't really pick between them, to be honest.
I mean, it works. I know you have at least a little bit of management over Pro Wrestling Magic, but what is your favorite promotion that you've worked for?
Besides Magic, it was always BWO, Body Slam Wrestling Organization, back in the day. That was the first place I trained at. I started out, I always believed in myself, and I still do, but I was, realistic about it. They were, at the time, it was WWE, and that was really it in the U.S. The TNA and Ring of... I started in 03, so TNA, Ring of Honor were a thing.
They just weren't
go there and make a living yet. It was a part-time gig. It was just a big indie at the time. Now it's much bigger than that, both of them. But at the time, they were just big indies, and I was okay, realistically, I could do WWE, New Japan, AAA. Not the best athletes. AAA is probably out. So it's basically WWE or New Japan or just an indie guy. So I've got, if nothing else, at the very least, I'm going to be the heavyweight champ and the tag champion here. And I wound up being both BWO heavyweight and tag team champion at different times. So those two minor, if nothing else, goals I got crossed off pretty quickly, within the first 5 years of wrestling.
All right.
So that was my favorite. It was just so much fun. Some of the matches were really good on the show, and some of them were really not good because it was also a student show, but it was just so much fun. The most fun I've had.
So, have you thought about going to Japan?
Man, I wish. Problem is, I have a 4.5-year-old son, so I couldn't go over there for more than like a week or two. With getting people to watch, at least till he starts school, then maybe it's different. But I'm not any kind of name to be going over there for a week or two and then coming back.
Yeah.
If I become something over here, then that changes. Then yes, absolutely, I'd love to go. Same with Germany. I was gonna go. I was thinking of going over the summer, but I remembered, they shut down over the fucking summer, just like we do over here, which is smart because everyone's going on vacation. No one's going to wrestling. Yeah. And if you really put your what on the table,
unless you're at a place where people go on vacation, then keep opening wrestling places.
Then yeah. But no, Alex went over last year, and I couldn't go. This year, I was going to go in the summer, and then, he brought it back up to my attention that, by the way, they don't run in the summer, so that didn't wind up happening. But I'd love to go to Germany. I'd love to go to Italy. I'd love to go to Japan. I mean, who knows? It could happen, next week. It could happen never. I'd like to be optimistic and say eventually I'd like to make it everywhere there's wrestling. I don't want to just be in one spot. You
don't want to just stick to the Northeast.
No, it's fun. It's a hotbed. If I do, I could probably make money and have fun, and that's cool. But no, optimally, I'd love to travel around a bit, leave the country. I went to England on one tour with Alex 2 years ago. Awesome time. I was beat to shit after 5 days because the rings over there are rough. Or at least the one we were in was rough. But I'd love to go back over there. The whole Euro tour would be nice. This summer, that was kind of something we talked about, that in Canada, but the world shutting down and we're back open, but international travel's kind of a headache still, so it might get pushed off a little bit. But eventually, I want to see the world. I want to take my son with me whenever I can, but he's starting school in September, so that probably won't happen much. But, over the summer, maybe take him with me and see some cool places that I never thought I'd get to see.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, my questions are very out of order.
That's all right.
In the future, do you have any plans to hit a major company, or are you just going to stick with Pro Wrestling Magic?
Yes, both. I hope to, and think that I'm good enough, but that's not the whole part of the equation, just being good enough.
Yeah,
that I'm good enough, or could become good enough, depending whose opinion we're going on, to be on someone's TV. I know WWE is very much a long shot because I'm 34 and I'm not a former Ring of Honor, Impact, or whatever guy, but if I get somewhere else first, who knows? And WWE is not necessarily the end game. I'd love to work there. AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, NWA, MLW, New Japan, AAA. But I don't really fit the lucha style. I could learn. Anywhere where I can make money and wrestle, the 3 or 4 letters really don't matter. Once I go there, that becomes home. But Pro Wrestling Magic will also always be home. Even if I can't wrestle there because of contractual obligations, I'll always keep it open. Even if I have to pay other guys to run it for me, because if I physically couldn't be there,
I could see you in Impact or AEW, because AEW is getting a lot of the guys around your area. Ben Bishop, I was just having a thing with him on Twitter. He's over there right now.
Yeah, man. A lot of the guys I've trained with, been on shows with, came up with, even former Pro Wrestling Magic Tag Team Champions, Private Party. Bear Country has passed through it. I've been on a million non-Magic shows with them.
Bronson, he followed me on Twitter a couple years ago. He's really nice to talk to.
He's a good dude. Yeah. They're both really good dudes.
I haven't met Boulder.
Not Beefcake. He's Boulder now. Bear Boulder.
Yes.
Used to be Beefcake Charlie in WrestlePro.
That's who he is. Okay. Yeah. I knew him from somewhere. I just could not place it.
He just moved down to Jacksonville with Brian Pillman Jr. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'd love to be in Florida.
Casey Navarro, Sean Donovan was on a show.
Yeah, I believe they were both on main event. I've only been on a handful of shows with them, but good dudes, good performers, really good.
I know Sean Donovan because you were on one episode of GTS. Him and Grim have just, I can't even tell if it's real anymore because it seemed very real. But Grim is very known for his turning real life heat into a very good storyline.
Yeah, Sean is good at the same, and I wouldn't even ask him out of respect if it was real or not. Because he wouldn't probably tell me. He's very old school, more old school than me, which is hard. That's a good thing, though. He keeps it real. He makes it seem real, whether it's real and he's being professional, or whether it's not real and he's just making a good story out of it doesn't matter because it's a good story.
He's one person I would love to interview because he'd be like MGF. He'd be in character the entire time.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't break.
I'm sure the interview would end with him telling me to go fuck myself and then hanging up.
Him and Darius Carter would both probably tell you that in different ways.
Yes, Darius Carter would be a really good one.
Darius would be more classy about telling you to do it, but he'd still.
I could see it. He has a very interesting wrestling style, which I really love.
Yeah,
he is fairly entertaining.
Dude, I was there his first day of training. He was terrible.
It happens.
I tell him this now. I'm like, dude, you were the shits, but you're so fucking good now. You've really made something out of. I wouldn't say nothing. He had good athletic ability, but he had well, we all start out as the shits, I guess, except for a handful. So
as long as you're trainable,
is so cool.
As long as you're trainable.
Himself, he could have walked away. He could have said, "I'm just not. This ain't for me." But he stuck with it, and he manned the fuck up, and he made something of it. And I could see him on someone's TV. I don't know about WWE, but he's good enough. But I don't know if he's what they're looking for. But I could see him probably on like an NWA or Ring of Honor. Maybe the Ring of Honor Pure division. He's a great mat wrestler.
Yeah, those two would definitely fit him. NWA would probably be good because he's a heel, right?
Yeah. I'm sure he could be a face, but wow.
I don't see it. I think he's one of those career heels.
You're trying to turn a face, he's gonna suck.
He's much better at a heel because I feel like if you turn him at face, he's gonna have to do the same stuff over and over again, and it's just gonna get.
It's like Randy Orton being a face. It's like, what? I mean, I guess he's good, but I don't want to cheer him. Because he's such a good heel.
So I hate saying someone sucks as a face because it makes him sound bad.
Yeah.
But you can be a good wrestler and suck at one part.
Mm-hmm.
And Darius is very good, but he would not be good at the face thing. He just the way his mannerisms come off. He's a heel.
If you ever do interview him, just ask him about Thunderfoot.
Thunderfoot.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then tell him to spit on it and see how fast he breaks down and just starts laughing. I won't explain that one.
That's how you break character for Darius Carter.
Yeah, you'll get him popping for that. And if he listens to this, he'll be ready for it. But I don't think he really does the podcast thing. So. I mean, he'll probably do the interview, but he don't really listen to him, I don't think. So, yeah. Be good.
Do you have any real life heat with anybody? You're allowed to say.
Not that I know of. I mean, I don't carry heat with anyone, and if they have heat with me and they haven't brought it to my attention, man to man or woman to man, face to face, or via my DMs, that's their fucking problem, to be honest. I don't think I do though. I don't have any ill will towards anyone. There's people I don't do business with, but like. That doesn't mean we can't be fucking friends or friendly or at least professional. Like
civil.
People carry too much real life heat from a business that's a fucking work. Like everything's a work. Yeah. I mean, the contact is real. It hurts, but like everything in and around wrestling is in some form of work. When you walk into the locker room, you're working, you're politicking. I don't do that shit. That's why I'm not more places, but. I mean, I don't do it much. I'll DM a promoter like, "Hey, brother, got a spot for me," and then they'll tell me no. But yeah, no, I don't have a heat over that. Like, I don't understand heat. I get it sometimes. Guys banging their girlfriend, and you find out about it, then there's heat. But like, I haven't had that, so no, I don't carry heat for anyone, and I don't waste time with it. If you have an issue with me, DM me or come see me. And if it's because I'm not booking your Pro Wrestling Magic, I don't care, so don't waste my time. This shouldn't be something you have personal heat over. It's a business. And
if you have to hate someone over not booking you on a show, there's probably a reason you're not being booked on the show.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with talent, so figure that out. Because I haven't had many talent hit me up that are the shits that I haven't used. Most of the talent that have the balls to hit me up are good. And if I haven't used you, there just isn't a spot. Or maybe you're an asshole in the locker room, and I can't have that because I finally have a really, really good locker room. And we've always had a pretty good locker room, but there was always a couple guys that would just rub people the wrong way, whether that was justified or not.
I think I know one of the people you're talking about. I don't know if he was in Pro Wrestling Magic, but I know someone who just ends up pissing everybody off in the locker room.
There's a few like that, and I don't know if it's just they don't have the self-esteem, so they puff their chest up and shit, and like. I just hate it. We have
always playing their character.
Locker room right now, and I'm keeping it that way. Whatever that means. If that means booking less talented guys, I'd like to avoid that. But it hasn't come to that yet. So I'm just gonna keep booking the people I'm booking because they're not pieces of shit. They put on a good match for the most part, or at least a decent match.
A match you can be proud of.
Yes. If you're at least halfway decent, I'll put you on the undercard. If you're good, you move up. And yeah, and again, if you haven't been booked and you're listening to this, that doesn't mean I think you're a piece of shit. It means you might be, or you might be good enough and we don't have anything for you. I don't remember anyone hitting me up that I watched their shit, but it was awful. Robert Martyr is an example. He's fucking awesome. I just don't have anything right now for his talent and his skill set and the heel. And because I don't want to make him babyface, what's the point? I don't know if you've seen him. Kid's an incredible heel and a great technical wrestler. And eventually I'm going to bring him in, but right now I have junior heavyweight heels that I'm building up and using. And yeah, I'm not going to put him on the pre-show because that's a waste of his time and mine. So that's just one example of a guy that's very much good enough, but I just don't have anything yet, but I will eventually. He's good, he's humble, he's talented, he cuts a good promo, he checks off all the boxes. He's not a big guy, but like neither am I, so what am I going to fault that, you know? And we have the junior heavyweight division, he could be in that. So yeah, that's just one example, but there's a lot like that. Yo, you're good, but I just wish I had something for you.
I see it more and more with indie talent. The more I talk to indie talent, the less heat they have with people. Yeah. And it's crazy because I did a podcast with Mike Law. I don't know if you know who he is. Mm-hmm. He is very well. He's a good dude. Yes, he is. He's very good with his job of being a chicken shit heel.
Dude, the gimmick is awesome too.
The 6'4", 500 whatever pound.
Yeah, the giant dumbbell.
The giant dumbbell, even though he's like.
Or a barbell, sorry, but whatever, same thing.
Same thing. Even though he's like 5'7", 5'8", maybe. Mm-hmm. You know. It's meant for laughs, but he doesn't do the Joey Ryan dick spot stuff where it's just not even funny anymore. Oh,
you know how that goes, so let's not go there.
No. I want to avoid him at all costs.
Yeah, same.
But like his comedy makes sense because everything I've seen with him, it's like he doesn't try to pick up a big guy, and when he does, he fails immediately.
Yeah.
It's not going out of the realm of possibility for it to be a thing. It's a guy. His character's a guy with an ego.
He's basically like the new age Crash Holly.
Yeah, basically.
Which is awesome.
But I was talking with him, and he has no heat with anybody. I don't think I've seen Bronson have heat with anybody since before AEW, at least.
Yeah, like I said, there's people you know to avoid because they're this or that, or they're carnies, or they're assholes, or they're backstabbers. You just avoid them. And when I've done that, I've avoided the majority of people like that. I've been all right.
Yeah. You just leave it to the indie wrestlers to not hate anybody.
Yeah, like, example, there's a trip coming up, or a show coming up this coming Saturday where Azrael, Mike Donovan, Nino Cruz, Alex Reiman, my partner, are all booked on it, and I'm not. And I'm happy. What a fucking... Like, I'm happy for them because they're good dudes, they're talented, and when one of us gets in, we all get in eventually. Plus, even if I don't, they deserve that shot. Why can't we all just be happy for each other instead of dudes like the other side of the coin being jealous or being nasty or being pissed off? They're not on the show, and these guys are on the show, and that's my crew that I ride with. I came up.
I could see initially being like, it sucks I'm not on the show, but as long as you're happy for everybody there, maybe buy a ticket and watch the show and see how good they are.
Selfishly, hopefully, I hope it works out and they can get me and a couple other of our guys in, but like that's just what we do. One or two of us get in, then we kick the back door open and the rest come in. That's how all the guys from ECW that went to WCW or WWF or whatever, it started with one, and then the rest of them were able to go freely. Like
you get like
get a crew, you get your boys, your friends, your friendly acquaintances. You look out for each other. You go to train together, you go to work together, we all rise together. Not everyone gets a job at the same spot, unfortunately, probably, but we all rise together.
But it's so great hearing from the independent wrestlers because you hear the people in Ring of Honor, they have just some boring stories because they only work in one place consistently. These indie guys, they go from company to company to company.
A lot of the undercard Ring of Honor talent are allowed to do bookings if they don't conflict with the Ring of Honor tapings. But like the top-notch talent, the main eventers are all exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, like,
able to get them like an autograph signing, but for like a match, they can't do it.
Someone like Wheeler Yuta, he can be at indie events as long as he's there for his Ring of Honor stuff. But someone like Mike Bennett, you're only going to get him on one indie show maybe every couple months.
Yeah, He's on pretty much everything Ring of Honor is doing, I believe. Like, I don't know their taping schedule, but I know anytime I watch, he's either on or they're like, oh, next week, or oh, in 2 weeks, Mike Bennett. And I'm like, oh, cool.
His name's on the show every week. I know that for sure.
He's mentioned every time, if not in a match or promo. So, and deservedly so. Like, he left. WWE didn't know what to do with him. I don't know the exact situation. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Bet on him. Not shitting on them. That happens. They missed the opportunity. He missed, out a good run, which should have been a good run. Now, hopefully, he got one Ring of Honor. That's what he deserves. He's one. Dude, such a nice, humble, down-to-earth dude. I don't know him that well, but anytime I've met him, he's taken time to shoot the shit with me, and
Yeah.
And he barely knows it, and he still takes time to shoot the shit. And hey, Ram, what's up? How you been? Good dude, really good, and deserves all the success in the fucking world.
Yeah, but Mike Bennett is a tremendous wrestler, so
yes,
he does deserve that. But like, Wheeler Yuta is definitely going to get signed to Ring of Honor if he's not already.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen him work with
not, someone else to pick him up first. He was just on Dark too, so if Ring of Honor doesn't jump, I can't speak for him because I haven't talked to him about it, but like, he actually had a cup of tea in Pro Wrestling Magic. He did 2 or 3 matches for us, and then he was supposed to be in Kill the Magic. He was supposed to be in the big Kill the Magic faction, but then his bookings were conflicting because he was starting to blow up a little bit.
Yeah.
Not to the extent he is now, but he was starting to get booked, and he's Drew Gulak's student, so he was getting good bookings. I'm like, no, dude, take those, because this was like a secondary role for him. He was going to be like the enforcer outside the ring for Kill the Magic and have matches here and there, and then work him into a main story. So, I'm glad to see the dude take off. He was always a nice, humble dude, and he was a good wrestler back then, but now he's fucking awesome. So,
but I found him on Magic, then on Beyond. He's tremendous. Someone else people need to watch out for is BSK. He's been on Dark. He's been on Impact.
He's not. The only thing I could say is maybe he needs a gimmick. I don't know what his gimmick is. I've only seen him in straight up matches. They're all really good. But it's all I could think of is maybe he needs like an over the top gimmick. I'm not the one signing people, but I'm guaranteeing he'll be on someone's TV eventually full time. Dark. He's been on the Impact show, right? Like a few times. He was actually in a really good tag team back in the day, Massage Envy. I don't know what happened to them.
I think BSK just kind of went on to do his own thing.
Went off on his own, which sometimes is good and sometimes is not. I don't know, but he's good either way. I'm just saying that gimmick is awesome.
I think even that sometimes doesn't work because Smart Mark Sterling's been on AEW a couple times.
Yeah.
He's definitely an over-the-top gimmick, but I don't think he's been signed yet.
I don't know about that if he is or not, but I know he's collecting that paycheck every time he's there, so
he is.
Even if he's not signed, at least he's getting money.
And he's still with Myers and Cardona, isn't he? He's still doing the podcast with Myers and Cardona, right?
I don't really do the podcast thing. I'm not really sure. I've listened to like Jericho and Austin's a handful of times. That's about it.
I know.
I should do more. I should do more of them. But.
I know him, Cardona, and Myers all had a podcast at some point. I don't know if it's changed because Cardona's with Impact, I think, and he's doing GSW. Myers with Impact full time, and Mark Sterling's going for AEW.
It works for me. I thought the thing was having gay.
Ooh, you just cut out.
But purchasing that event, and I don't really buy pay-per-views. I just do the IWTV, and when I watch what I watch, and I'll probably check that match out.
Yeah, definitely. Right. I think that concludes all the questions I had for you. Is there any person that you think is going to break out in 2021?
Man, it's a tough question, but I think Eric Jordan, the 3 best women's wrestlers in the world that are not on TV right now that will be in a year's time, maybe 2 years' time, because you never know with the people leaving WWE who's going to take up those spots. But within a year or two time, Masha, Erica, and Jordan are all going to be on someone's TV for sure. And that's from the women's side. From the men's and tag teams, I mean, selfishly, myself and Alex, whether it be singles or tag, same company or different, I truly believe, probably not WWE because we're not body guys or big guys, but you never know.
You guys are.
Even if it's just like WA or one of them, like outside the WWE, that's fine. That's just as big for me, to be honest. Like it's not about 3 letters, like I said. It's about what you're representing and pride in your work and making money for it. To be blunt,
definitely,
it's about the love for it. It's also about the money. If he could stay healthy, the Meadowlands Monster, who just came back from an injury, and I believe he can and will stay healthy. I hope so. My friend, I'm a little biased, but dude's 7 foot. He's pretty lean. He's big but lean. He could fucking move. He hasn't gotten a chance to get his name out there yet because he was the Pro Wrestling Magic Heavyweight Champ and hurt himself by accident on a VXS show. And that was the worst time ever that could have happened. But now he's still young enough where he can fight back from it. He's already back in the ring less than a year later, which is mind-blowing to me. But, God bless. And Smiley, Pro Wrestling Magic. Dude is the most creative by far. No one even comes close. The most athletic talent I've ever seen in the ring. And now he's doing the heel thing, and he's killing that too. When his old gimmick was like the lucha superhero, he's doing the opposite and doing it even better, I think. Just as good, if not better. So those are just a few. There's so many, though, honestly. It's such a deep list that, like, how do you pick one? AMS, Meadowlands Monster, Smiley, Erica Lee, Masha Slamovich, and Jordan Blade. But Killian McMurphy too. Like that's a long fucking list, but those are my top few. And there's a few more that I'm not thinking of right now. But and Sebastian Cage, and I'll end it at that.
Sebastian Cage, definitely.
I think that's like 10. So those are my top. I can't pick one, but those are the top. Yeah. Sebastian is so underrated.
Oh, definitely.
And, like to see him breaking out now is cool. Like doing more indies, going to Florida a lot. It's great. Dude should at least be on Dark or Explosion or Before the Impact or whatever their pre-show is now. At least he's such a good athlete, man. Like. I know he's not a big dude, but he don't need to be. He flips around. He walks in the room like he's got a 10-foot you-know-what. And I haven't seen people do the shit that he's done that are on TV. I haven't. Some of the things he does are just mind-blowing. And it's just a matter of time if he keeps with it, which I think he will.
I almost forgot this one. Last question, I asked everybody this. What is your finishing move?
So my tag team finish with Alex is Death from Above, which is the superplex, and he does a top rope elbow drop. It's inspired by the old Power and Glory, and since we've done it, I've seen like 8 other tag teams on TV do a similar move with a splash or a knee drop. We see you. But I'm sure they were just studying the same Power and Glory matches that we were, right? And the other ones are Anthrax drop. He does the zigzag. I do a left is Shot in the Dark. It's an implant DDT with an elbow to the back of the head. Think like the Final Cut, but the other way around.
Oh. See, I love hearing indie guys' moves because they always have just the most creative names for it and just the most creative ideas for them. Because once they hit like big time, they'll just go with like a GTS or just Death Valley Driver.
Yeah, that do what the bosses want, I guess. But I don't know why they seem to have an issue with creative finishers, but whatever. It is what it is. The first thing I get, the Pepsi plunge me and go to sleep because, like, it's late for still wrestling time, so I get that. But other than that, All
right, so would you like to plug any of your stuff besides Pro Wrestling Magic, which we've talked about 6 times?
Oh, yeah. Watch out for Donovan, Steve Pena, Azriel, and Trey Felipe as well. Nino Cruz, they're going to come up. They're kind of like a rotating faction. I forgot to mention them with the guys that are probably getting noticed somewhere. Let's see. You can definitely go over to IWTV, sign up with the promo code MAGIC. We get paid when you do, and it doesn't cost you any money to give us that money. It comes out of the IWTV money. You're taking money from the man and giving it to the little guy. So please, by all means, use the promo code MAGIC. I don't know if they have a free trial anymore. I heard they got rid of it, but I just signed right the hell up. Check me out on social media. I'm Steve Off on Facebook, and I Hate Steve Off is my tag on Twitter and Instagram. Story behind that real quick. Someone on Instagram had the name Steve Off. They posted a couple pictures of like dinosaurs in a beer can, which is something I would have posted, but it wasn't me. So I hate that guy. I don't hate me. I hate that Steve Off. So fun little inside story how I came up with that. follow me on all that. I have Snapchat too, but I don't really use it, so don't bother. Yeah, find me on social media. Pro Wrestling Magic is also on all forms of social media, at Wrestling Magic on Twitter, at Pro Wrestling Magic on Instagram, and Pro Wrestling Magic on Facebook. We also have a YouTube page. We don't add too much to it, but we have a whole back catalog on there. Go check out our stuff before you sign up for IWTV. Make sure you like it. You're going to. At least most of it, if not all of it. So check us out. Hashtag This Is Magic. Hashtag AMS on everything you post, because I want to be trending and stuff.